Welcome back to another BG review. So today I'm gonna take a look at another game that I got sent in, which was a Nozdormu 4th place at 7,500 MMR. We're gonna see what we can improve on, and you'll hopefully learn something from this as well. Now I wanna first of all say thank you for all the great videos and the great games that I got sent in on Discord. If you guys really like this, I could even do this twice a week, it depends on the feedback. But I enjoy doing this, and I hope we can keep it going like this. Anyway, this game was sent in by Yog. He did write a little bit of extra info with it. He said it was a decent one. He got 4th place. He had a good mid-game Naga tempo, a free level to 6 because of Ghost, but he never hit any scaling after. So he had to play a Critter Wrangler board. We'll see what he played. And he said he barely even made it to 4th place. It was almost a 5th place. Now, this lobby has no beasts, no Murlocs, no Quillbor, and no Elemental. No beast means that there's less tempo on tier 5. There's also, less tokens, no Ellicad. Now, on turn 1, I think I almost always roll if I just don't have a token in the shop because, well, I'm Nozdormu. He does that and he gets a token, so rewarded. Now, Nozdormu is really good at power leveling because you have a free roll, so you can more consistently, on higher ranks, get decent shops, so you don't always low roll. But you can also stay on 1 more consistently and get triples because, well, again, you have a free roll, so it's more likely you find your pairs or your triples. So it really depends on what tribes are in the token. If Mech Quillbor is in the lobby, I would always power level. But I know Quillbors are missing, so you might be tempted to stay down on 1 instead, depending on what our next shop is, to try and get some pairs online and go from there. Now, there's a test in the lobby, so they might be stealing stuff from others. We'll see when we face her and how we have to manage our spike turn. They do decide to level, which I'm okay with. We could have rolled first to see what the shop gave us and then level, because if we roll first and we see 2 more of these, then we want to stay on 1. So I would roll first and then level, because there's no reason to level roll. You're not freezing anyway here, right? Also, I want to point out we got Togwaggle in the lobby, and as we all know, Togwaggle is one of the most toxic heroes right now. If you face this guy between like turn 4 or 7, you're gonna be taking a lot of damage. So that is one thing to keep in mind as well. But we do have 7 armor. Actually the most armor in the lobby apparently, which is pretty good because Nozdormu is not that bad. The only issue is that Nozdormu, you really gotta make good use of the hero power early on, so you gotta make sure that you get slightly above average boards compared to others. If you don't, you're basically playing without hero power. Now Tess is gonna get a pair from us. They have Whelp and the other Naga token, and now I want to see if they power level to tier 3, and I think I would. I think I rarely stay on tier 2 nowadays. Like, there's almost no reason to be on tier 2. The cards don't really matter that much. Tog also goes free on free, so we're not even gonna take damage. Beautiful. It's great. It is actually the best turn to face Togwaggle. This is usually the turn where he's slowest, weakest, and before he starts popping off with his hero power. So this is ideal for us. We are now on tier 3. Again, no Quillbor. We're just looking for powerful cards like... Well, there's no Bronze Warden in... No, there's Dragons. There's Bronze Warden. There's no Cyclone, there's no Elementals. We're looking for the Flecto, Iron Sensei, things like that. Maybe even some Naga stuff. And we found some Naga stuff. Honestly, you could probably take it, but I wouldn't because I really don't like it. Like Snail is a 2-drop that scales a little bit. Now this card gives you just a +3/+3. It's kind of a 5/5 this turn. I think I would rather roll because, well, this card just gives you coins already. And I mean, this shop wasn't great either. We could take Taragosa, but I feel like getting baited by Naga is pretty easy, especially if you're a hero that doesn't make good use of it. Like if you're not Mutinous, who does a good job of using Naga spells, or Vol'jin, or you're a hero that, just wants to go Naga, I would do it. But this, I feel like, is slightly bait. But it's not bad. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's just a play that I wouldn't make, because now we're kind of in the trap of, okay, we're looking for more Naga synergies. If you don't hit them, it's a little bit iffy. Did Cookie just triple? Well, that's kind of annoying. Let's see what he did. Yeah, triple Swabby into a free drop. Okay, man. That's gonna happen sometimes, I guess. So we're gonna lose this fight. We're gonna take a bit of damage. Only 5. And now, well, okay, you got rewarded. You got your pair onto the Naga, so that's only really good. I would still roll here. You could consider it a free because it's another Naga that gives you a coin every turn, and you have 2 of these, I forgot what the name is, that do 1 Nagas on board, because then the spells get bigger and better. So yeah, we'll see if he decides to take it. He does. I can respect that. And then he can roll 2 more times looking for this triple, which he didn't find yet. So we're actually in a good spot. We're in a decent spot. We have a pair lined up. We could pivot into full Naga, which is pretty likely, or we could just use this as strength. use the econ that we have and level to 6 quickly. Now before we move on, I have a quick review to make because I got sent this light by BenQ. So they were kind enough to send me a free desk light. I was not paid to say anything specific, so I'm going to give you an honest review of this and then we're going to move on. So this is the box it came in, let's unbox it. And this is the packaging. The packaging is really fancy, inside it looks really neat. I did already unpack it. So what I'm going to say about it, again I'm going to be truly honest, is that it's nice. The price is pretty steep, but as soon as you hold the light in your hands, you're going to figure out why. The material is pretty good, it feels very quality, and I mean the main reason why I like it is because it is able to light up my entire desk without taking up much space. So I like having it very nice and tidy instead of having like a desk light. This is what my desk looked like before. To light it I had like this light strip around, which was pretty clunky. So being able to replace that with just this monitor clip is amazing. As you can see in the back here, it clips very neatly onto any screen. It's like no effort to set up whatsoever. The batteries were all included. It's just plug it in with USB. And even this knob that you have to control it is very nice. It turns on if you just put your hand over on top of it. You can change the warmth of the lamp, so like what color it kind of is, how strong it is. Yeah, you have a lot of freedom of how you want to control it. It doesn't reflect on the screen because that was what I was worried about, like it's gonna blind me and won't be able to see my screen. I've had no issues with it so far, and I definitely think if you're looking for a really sick desk light, well, and you have some money to spare, I would recommend it. It's definitely worth it. I will leave a link down below anyway. Now let's move on. Thank you BenQ for sending me this light. So we're now still in this spot. We do have these spells. I guess it doesn't really matter where you put them, usually not on this one of course. I think on the snail makes a little sense because it has more health than attack, so buffing it up makes it more valuable. And we're gonna face Tess. Let's see what Tess has. Still very trashy cards, so apparently we're strong. I even hope we get money. We might not even get gold, depending on how the trades go. Yeah, so we're dealing 12 here. For turn 5 we're okay, strong, and now we have to find a direction. There is an obvious level turn just with a roll, and we're just gonna take whatever strongest card we have in the shop, which is gonna be probably Witch Wing. Oh, Cookie is actually really good here, never mind, because you can play double the spell than Cookie Chemist and the spells become permanent. So you could just take Cookie here. Okay, he uses his spells and snails, does buy Cookie, I like that. Wait, you should use your second spell. Wait. I would have definitely just used the second spell as well, because then you'd make another stat boost, another +5/+5 permanent. So I don't know what the reasoning here is to not get another extra +5/+5 permanent. Maybe he doesn't want to put it all on one unit, I don't know. Also, I would have probably made the stats on one of these tutus permanent, because this is a pair that is going to stay on the board. I really am not a big fan of Snail, so I don't want to keep Snail around, so I would actually just buff the tutu and then make those stats permanent on it. We were able to tie the fight, and depending on our next opponent, we could probably just level. It's not Dogwaggle, beautiful, so we should probably just level, I think. We could even buy this pair and then double coin level. Or we could just level a roll and then still double sell buy, or we could even buy this. So a lot of different lines. I think the 8/8 or the 4/4 is not good enough. I think the pair is interesting because it does fill out the board and work well with our economy. Okay, he does buy this and then double coin level. That's what I would like to see. He does. Okay, this is a very clean turn. I like it. And now we have suddenly potential to find Crater Wrangler to still triple these into 6 drops, because again, we're kind of just Naga from the get-go because of how we played this, and that's why I'm not a big fan of the Snail tutu pickup, because well, if we don't hit the Naga, we're screwed. But hey, we're still in a good spot and we still have all the time in the world to look for the pieces without being too pressured by the lobby. So this Zephyr also doesn't seem that strong. Got 1 triple into a Light Fang with some decent tribes, you know, kind of okay-ish, but I think we should be good. Oh, we actually do lose the fight. We take like 5 damage here, which is nothing, honestly. And now we should just level again, because we do need to hit Naga, and Naga is tier 6. We're facing Cookie. The main issue is that if we level, we're probably going to take a massive hit, but there's a ghost in lobby, as we just saw. So someone died super early, meaning if we level and we take damage, we can face the ghost and just stabilize from there. Well, if we stay down, all we can do is roll for the triples. Brute is also a really good card. And then I guess Wrangler is a card, but that's about it. Because again, on tier 5, there's no beast, so we can't just instantly swap into Mama Bear Crocolisk. There's no Murlocs, so you can't just pick up a Zephyr and say we're now poison comp. We can pick up a Hogger, but again, setting up Hogger is pretty slow and takes quite a bit, so we have to full commit onto this. We did find our triple, which is huge. Okay, I like the way that he's taking this. And this has to be either Tempo or one of the Naga cards. And I guess it's a Manted Queen. Nadina doesn't do anything, Felbat doesn't do anything. So it has to be Queen here. And then we're just playing with a Mantic Queen and a little bit of scaling onto the brutes. So I'm gonna say most of his decisions this game are good. There's nothing that I would call a strict misplay. He leveled when I would have leveled, took a lot of the same lines that I would have done, except for maybe, you know, the one that was on tier 3 when he just got there. But it worked out for him in the end. The only difference is, again, I would have considered maybe leveling this turn, which is weak, but I don't think we would ever die here. We're facing Jugglers. That is kind of yikes, because we did snipe one. Actually, they only have one demon. We might be fine. The Targosas are pretty big, depending on how much we value trade. And seems like we do value trade quite a bit. We're fine. Oh, wow, I jinxed it. Okay, my bad. We can actually face Ghosts now because we dropped down. And we do get to face them. That's, of course, a level, obviously. But that's, again, you gotta know what tier... Wait, we need to level, right? He rolled first. Maybe he's looking if he can triple first. Okay, he does level. Yeah, we should have definitely leveled first and then rolled. But maybe I was still considering it. We have like more than 70 seconds. So one thing to remind yourself of is that you have so much time in Battlegrounds. Some turns you have like almost 2 minutes. Like, take that time to figure out what you're doing so you don't accidentally waste potential. I would still be looking for cookies, because cookie is still a lot of stats that we can put on the board right now with this double free drop. I still don't remember the name. I keep forgetting about it. But yeah, Naga is the kind of tribe that wants to be on 6 early. So, one other person died. We're now in the top 6. We're facing Lord Barov. We're still pretty desperate. We're looking for, again, a couple specific cards. So mainly what we can do is roll here. I don't think we can take that. Yeah, I wouldn't take this. It's not worth it. We have 2 other pairs. We can potentially triple, and we have a lot of 6 drops that we want to look for, or even Critter Wrangler, which is a 5 drop. So taking a pair on this card while we can't even play it because we're too board locked doesn't seem worth it. It is strong for the turn though. If you just want to go all in this turn, you could cycle this taunt to get just 1 extra shield on the board for 1 fight. But I don't think I would like to do that. And yeah, now we're kind of just rolling and not hitting, and that's a big downside of, you know, being too heavy into a single composition. We're just too much into Naga without having the actual scaling. So he's gonna buff both his brutes. He's gonna sell out of one of his pairs to play another Divine Shield taunt. This is a better pair than the other one, that's true. But yeah, it's a gold commitment. You're just replacing one pair for another. That is slightly better, but that still isn't, you know, gonna win you the game. But we are rather strong-ish. We have like 3 relevant units, maybe 4. And okay, we are gonna counter their Leroy pretty hard, unless he goes into the Queen, I guess. Okay. They are also playing dragons because, well, who is not playing dragons in the current meta? And we will just barely win against that. Okay, there's our triple. And, well, this now has to be good or we're still in trouble. We're facing Pirates with 1 triple. Okay, 6 Pirates, 1 triple. What does that mean? APM usually has more triples. But 6 Pirates is also not really Scallywag comp. So I think it's just going to be a strong comp with like a bunch of Elizas or just golden strong stuff, with maybe with Tony. We got our Orgozoa. We should always take it. I don't think Zap is going to be good because I don't expect Baron Scallywag against 6 Pirates. Especially when they're dealing that much damage. I would definitely think it's just more big pirates. So I do like Orgozoa here over Zap. And he skipped the Cookie Chemist. I mean, we sold out of most of our spells that actually give us stats. So we only would get 8 health or 8 attack transferred into 8 health. But we do also have the Orgozoa. So I would definitely look forward to Cookie Chemist there, since it's still a way that we're going to get stats on the board. While we don't really have that many ways right now. And he took, you took Myrmidon without having scaling for it. I don't like the Myrmidon whatsoever here because we have no way to buff it up. We have 0 scaling for it. So the other options, what were the other options? Yeah, the other options are not great either. So I guess it's fine then. I thought the others might have Spellcraft. And there's a Critter Wrangler. We just have to take that at this point. We haven't really found anything too useful now. Another Orgozoa. So yeah, you have to sell out the taunt pair. That's why I really didn't like going for it. It's probably not valuable enough. And how is he doing this now? He's playing Orgozoa, selling out of it. Wait. Oh yeah, he's roping. He just has to make a play. Fair enough. But you definitely should have done this spell first, because you could get another Spellcraft that's worth it. So he did rope out. He didn't get all his plays in maybe how he wanted. Leading with this, okay. So he's actually APM with only 1 triple, which is surprising, but he's pretty big. Not as big as I would have expected. We will live to this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's even pretty close. They're not that strong. In our top 5, we're sadly not getting Ghost, we're facing the Zephrys, and yeah, our board is kind of wanky. We again are scaling one thing, we have only Critter Wrangler with this. And he's taking normal Spellcraft now, which I guess you have to do, you have to all in, so taking any Spellcraft you see probably is worth it, because you gotta buff up this thing, but at the same time, we're not gonna get there by just taking Spellcraft over Spellcraft. Okay, he did not take the Taunt one, but he did take the other ones. I guess he doesn't want to give taunts. There is a Leroy in the shop as well. He sold out of his Divine Shield taunt to cycle, and he can end on another Divine Shield taunt. He probably has to sell Orgozoa for the Leroy. Yeah, stacking everything onto Myrmidon again, as I thought, putting a shield onto the Brute, hoping that the Queen just gets the shield itself, I guess, trying to get lucky. And I would sell Orgozoa here for the Leroy instead of the taunt. I think the taunt is really good because it plays around people opening with Leroy or with a big Divine Shield that we've seen before. And it gives you a shield every turn, which is pretty good, while Orgozoa is just going to give you a random Spellcraft, which is not very good, especially not if you have know what this has on the board. And okay, we're facing the Golden Lightfang double Leroy. Really interesting board. Sadly, our Queen just died and did nothing. Our Leroy was really bad. It might still be enough depending on the trades, and it is not enough. That could be lethal, but I know it's the 4th place, so he's gonna live here by 1 health. Pretty lucky. And now there's no Ghost, and now next turn we're probably dead unless we can pivot into full scam, meaning we find another Queen, we find another Leroy, because again our scaling is really slow. Our Discover and Org as well hasn't really been good in quite a bit. You definitely need to take this Queen here, which he skips. Selfless is also a consideration, which he skips, because, well, getting shields to land onto Queens again is really good. Like, that's our only out right now. I think it's pretty hard to try and beat him just by looking for scaling still. It's the top 4, and we don't really have an option. Like, even if we find it this time now, it's too late. We can't really make it work, since we have no Spellcraft left. Like, we don't generate any spells. There's a Tissa, and he seems like he's going for it, which I don't like. Yeah, it's getting baited. So let's see how this fight is going to go. I mean, we kind of know how this fight is going to go. But basically, I think the issue this game was that we stuck with Naga from the point that we were on tier 3. I think we should have just seen it as tempo or a good pair, and then leave our options open. Now again, this lobby didn't have that many options, so I think going with Naga was okay. But we also spent, like, we should have gone to tier 6 a turn earlier, because we know Naga needs to be on 6, plus we know there's a Ghost in the lobby that we can face. So, then also here in the end game, there's no reason to start scaling anymore with that Tissa. We have no time for that. It's better to take up the Queen and just try and scam our way into this top 4. And also, yeah, mediocre plays, you're kind of just like buying Spellcraft for no reason when you know it's not going to be enough. You really got to see the winning line and try and figure out, okay, Critter Wrangler is good in the mid game, late game is not going to matter, so right now I got to spend gold, not just on buying Spellcraft, but probably on trying to hit more useful cards that can actually, you know, give me a better placement. But overall, well played. There are a lot of lines, a lot of leveling turns that I would have taken, and the triples, well, they were a bit late, but they worked out in the end anyway. I mean, the triples are kind of shit, but you took them like you'd have to. And Naga need a lot of pieces to work, as you see here, and if you don't roll them, you're kind of dead, so forcing it is pretty bad. Hey, that rhymes. I'll end on that high note. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.